Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I hope there can be a future for us. I've got an email here from a viewer, and he hooked up with a girl, and she's giving him some BS answers, and he's scratching his head wondering what the hell I should do next, because he made a lot of mistakes, and he got himself blown off or put into friendship zone, so he wants to know what to do. So he says, Corey, I discovered your site and videos yesterday, and I'm looking forward to downloading your book later today. Here's a situation that led me to your site. I'm recently divorced, and my wife left me about 8 months ago. As I've gotten over that, I became involved with a coworker. There was a good deal of mutual attraction, and it turned into a 3-month fling. In hindsight, I made a lot of mistakes that I also made with my wife, and in that, I was extremely beta and not alpha enough. In terms of the relationship with the coworker, I was generally the one to offer compliments. I always initiated affection and physical contact. I arranged dates, and I was usually the one to text more. Like I say in my book, it's always better if she's doing 70 to 80% of the calling, texting, and pursuing. And see, when you do most of it, in essence, you're acting like a woman, and you're not paying attention. This is the thing, is like guys do this all the time, and I used to do it when I was unsuccessful, is that we project our high level of attraction and interest onto the girl that we're dating, and we assume that she feels the same way. And the thing you got to remember about women is that they fall in love slowly over time, and just like the average guy, you're driven by logic, and masculine energy was about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, achieving. And so you're naturally doing what most guys doing. You're thinking, I've got to rush her to the altar. I've got to rush her to the finish line. I've got to rush her into being my boyfriend or being my girlfriend until or before some other dude comes along and steals her from me. And when you act that way, you're acting from a scarcity mindset where you basically are communicating all the time through your actions, your words, your body language, your physiology, that you don't feel worthy enough, and that once she really gets to know how you really are, then she's going to dump you because just nobody could really love you. I mean, that's how guys think deep down inside. And so they're in a big hurry, and they just completely ignore everything she's doing and saying and all the little red flags until it's too late, like it is now for you. And he says, she did offer positive feedback, explaining how she liked me, that she was interested and saw a lot of potential in a relationship with me. And then you're like, a guy hears that, he just thinks, okay, good, and I'll just keep pushing, I'll keep pushing, and I'll get her across that finish line, and she'll say yes to me. He says, honestly, I was falling in love with this girl, and the crucial mistake I made, telling her I loved her late one night. She did not reciprocate. In fact, she questioned why I didn't want to be out there going out with lots of different women, as she had seen a number of different women approach me in social settings. In other words, what she's communicating to, because when you say that to a woman, you're in love with her, and she's thinking, well, I don't really know you that well. It doesn't matter if you're sleeping with her or anything, because women know that an emotional bond or relationship forms slowly over time, over the course of many weeks and months. And when you're just a few weeks in and you're trying to rush it, I mean, women in a lot of ways look at that and they think, really? You're already in love with me? It's like, they're kind of scratching their head, because it really doesn't make sense, because they don't fall in love like that. And so it's like she was saying, it's like, why don't you want to be out with a lot of other, I mean, you should be out with other women dating them. And she just assumes that which is what you're going to be doing. Why? Because more than likely she's probably dating 2 or 3 other dudes as well. He says, when we woke up the next morning, I kind of knew this was a mistake. And I told her that I was rushing things and I wanted to slow down so we were on the same pace. Well, it's like now you're backtracking and you're explaining yourself. It's like you're justifying your behavior, and you really didn't need to say that. It's not helping your case. We even had sex after this conversation, and 2 days later, she dumped me on the phone. Her excuses I love these excuses. He says her excuses ranged from, I'm fucked up, having just gotten out of a long-term relationship. Like, yeah, that really matters. Didn't seem to matter when you had her in the bugs, which is basically her feet wrapped around her head, so her feet kind of look like Bugs Bunny ears. He says, I need to be single for a while. I'm not ready to be all in. I just don't think it's right since we work together. And he says, in my personal favorite, she said, I don't want to, this is great, I don't want to burn a bridge right now because I hope there can be a future for us. Well, it's kind of hard to have a future when you're dumping somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of shit. It's like the average guy hears that and they go, "Oh, okay, I got a shot. I can get her. I can make her mine. It's just a matter of time." And he thinks that way. And he keeps bullshitting himself for months and months and months. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not ready." And then the next thing you know, she's in a relationship with some other dude. And he's like, "What happened? I thought, I was just waiting for you." She's like, "Oh, it just kind of happened." And what happens is they fall in love with a guy that's not pushing them. And it's like, for her to be on the phone and giving you all these excuses, it's like it tells me that you're in achieve mode. You're trying to achieve. You're trying to succeed. You're trying to use logic and reason. If you just find the right argument to get her to stick around and instead of just dumping me. And what's going on is, emotionally, she just ain't feeling it because you've turned her off. You've ruined her level of comfort and safety by trying to rush things. And also sitting here trying to reason with her and getting like 5 different excuses. It's just, it's like the guy that gets the snowball all the way to the top of the hill, and it's just so big and heavy that you can't really get that last inch. And what happens, it starts rolling back the other way, and it rolls over you, and it goes rolling down the mountain. So he says, of course she still wanted to be friends. How generous of her. He says, to which I replied, well, we work together, and I'll absolutely remain professional about things. And I would have said, I'm not interested in being friends only. It's like, I don't care if you date other people. I'm not looking for a relationship. It's just, I want to continue hanging out and having a good time. If you're telling me you don't want to do that, then, hey, give me a call when you change your mind. And you just leave it at that. And so when she does reach out to you next, you just assume it's because she wants to hang out. And then you just go right back into creating a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen. Just arrange the next one and get together like nothing ever happened. You don't bring up the past. You don't bring up all that shit you said. And then from that point forward, you just say, hey, let's not complicate things. Let's just have fun. I'm not looking for a relationship. Obviously, you're not ready to be in one. Let's just have fun together like we've always been doing. But what happened was, she started to feel like she was losing her freedom. And you might, like this quote I shared a couple weeks ago, you must love someone to the point that they feel free. And so that's what happened here. Your way of loving her caused her to no longer feel free in the relationship. And she felt like she was getting boxed into a commitment that she wasn't ready to make. And so therefore, that's why she bailed out on you. He says, this really hurt Corey. It really hurt. And he says, over the next week, I cut all contact. She sent me a couple of texts to which I replied with simple statements. We've had 2 lengthy text exchanges in the past month. One discussed the relationship and the breakup, and the other was a little more weird. It's like, again, you're still trying to stick her into the relationship thing. And when she was reaching out to you, you just simply should have just said, hey, why don't we hey, great to hear from you. Why don't we get together and make dinner together? When are you free to get together this week? Let her respond, and if she would make a definite date, then withdraw the offer and say, hey, we'll do it some other time when your schedule's more open. Keep in touch. I got to run. I can just get off the phone. He says, one discussed the relationship and the breakup, and the other was a little more weird. You see, she tried to set me up with one of her friends, and I asked her why she was doing this, and she said, you're amazing, and she is too, and I thought you'd like her. And after meeting her friend at a work event, she texted me to see what I thought, and we got back into talking about other things related to us. In other words, you probably brought up you and her, and she's just trying to get rid of you. She's trying to hook you up with somebody else because, you pretty much blew it with her. He says, mutual interests, things I'd like to do with her, all this and that. And then that was almost 2 weeks ago, and we've not texted since. She sent me a text asking if I had taken her friend out, to which I did not reply. That's it. No contact since, except a few work-related emails regarding some projects in which we're mutually involved. In the meantime, I've gone out with several different girls, but I want this girl back. You got to focus on these other women, dude. He says, I know where I screwed up, and now I need to know if I can get her back. It's doubtful, I would say. I just don't know where to go other than no contact. It's frustrating. Looking back, I can pinpoint every single mistake I made, but I want to move forward, and I want this girl back with me. Is there any hope at all? Well, he says, I'm looking forward to reading your book and exploring more of your website. Well, you need to definitely do that. And the thing is that when she reaches out to you next, just say, hey, great to hear from you. When are you free to get together for a drink? Question mark, send that, and just say, hey, why don't you grab a bottle of wine and come on over to my place? We'll make dinner together. And if she won't do that, withdraw the offer and say, all right, well, just let's do it some other time and your schedule's a little tighter, and we'll talk then. I got to run. And then you do that twice. And if she reaches out to you a couple weeks later, you do the same thing, try to arrange a date, and she won't do it, then you don't bring up getting together at all at that point. And the only way you bring up getting together after she's rejected you twice, when she's reached out or initiated contact first, is that the only way you'll set a date is that she has to bring it up on the phone. Meaning when you talk to her, you send 2 or 3 texts back and forth, and if she doesn't bring up getting together, just say, hey, it was nice hearing from you. I got to run. Keep in touch. And then you just get off the phone. And if she wants to do something, then she'll bring it up. And if not, but like I said, it's already been a month or 2, and she's probably dating somebody else by now. Probably one of the other guys that she was hooking up with at the same time she was hooking up with you. Or maybe she's hooking up with the ex-boyfriend. I mean, we don't really know at this point. The point being is that, you know, I've explained enough here that you can tell, and you already kind of know where you went wrong anyways. So get busy applying what I teach with other women, improving your skills, because that will build your confidence, and that will help you act more alpha when you're around here, when you start getting success with other women, because then you're not going to be so consumed with her. But like I said, at this point, for you to focus or put any energy or effort on it, you're wasting your time, and you're actually inhibiting your chances of potentially going out with her again in the future. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max. Just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't already have a Kindle device, you can download a free e-reader app. And if you, on the right-hand side, there's a button that you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app and complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website. And on the Wibbly toolbar, which will be at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.